So our purpose, to review, is just to look at a passage and summarize it. I'm going to do it first. I'm going to think aloud first for you, and I want you to see and hear what I'm doing. You're going to look in my brain, you're going to hear what I'm saying, and you're going to think about what I'm saying, and I'm going to do it for you, and then we're going to do it together, and then you're going to practice on your own. Okay? So you have an article at your desk, and it's called QWERTY. You see that? And I have that up here. Okay? And as I look at this article, I'm going to look at some special features here. So the title is QWERTY, and I'm looking at that right now, and I'm thinking, I have no idea what that is. So here's when I'm going to start summarizing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a strategy called GIST that takes the essential parts of each of the paragraphs, and in the end, because there are 4 paragraphs in this passage, I am going to have a summarizing sentence for the first paragraph, a summarizing sentence for the second, the third, and the fourth. And in the end, I will have a 4-sentence paragraph, okay, a 4-sentence summary, okay? So listen to me as I read aloud and think aloud about this passage. QWERTY. The modern typewriter was... So now I'm going to take the essential parts of this paragraph and think, what do I have to have in order to summarize this? There are some things in here that are not that important. The modern typewriter was born in the back of Klein Stuber's machine shop in Milwaukee. I don't care where it was born. That doesn't seem like I need to know that it was born in a machine shop. Okay? That's where Christopher Sholes took some piano wire and a telegraph key and built a crude typing device. It's rather fuzzy. So now I'm thinking about this paragraph, and I'm thinking, let me see if I can start to construct a 1-sentence about this paragraph, a 1-sentence summary. Let me see. So what if I started after inventing a typewriter? First of all, do you guys even know what a typewriter is? Do you know this phenomenon of this typewriter? What is it? Just out of curiosity, just to make... Okay, it's a keyboard. It types words on a paper. You insert a piece of paper and you type on it, right? It's very different. I mean, you can't erase. Sometimes they had some erasing mechanisms later on, but yeah, if you make a mistake, you got to take out the paper and start all over, okay? All right, so this typewriter was invented, and it could only type 1 letter at a time. So let me see. If I say something like, after inventing a typewriter in 1868, that's important. The date is important. That could only type 1 letter at a time. This guy, Christopher Sholes, designed, we can say, a more ambitious model or a more complete model with all the letters in the alphabet. So let me see here. Now let me look at this. After inventing a typewriter that could only type 1 letter at a time, Christopher Sholes designed a more complete model with all the letters of the alphabet. I like that. I'm forgetting, though, I'm going back here. I think the date is important. So I'm going to add that. After inventing a typewriter that can type only 1 letter at a time in 1868, Christopher Sholes designed a more complete model with all the letters of the alphabet. That seems like a good first summarizing sentence for that first paragraph. Why don't you talk at your tables and see if you guys can come up with a sentence, 1 sentence, it's kind of hard to do, summarizing this 3rd paragraph, okay?
Me too.
What do you guys think?
3rd paragraph.
So we know that they looked at the common pairings of letters, right? And then what happened?
They split them up.
They split them up. They moved them further apart so they wouldn't jam up, right? And then what happened?
He slowed it down.
Right.
Because I don't think the one in the middle is important.
Okay. That middle sentence, you don't think that's important? Okay. All right. And it became QWERTY. right? Right. Why don't you guys work together and come up with one sentence, okay? Talk it out and write down a summarizing sentence for that one. Is there anything that's not important that you want to get rid of in that third paragraph, or you don't think that it's important?
How about this after analyzing the common letters for
Is the QWERTY, go ahead, Lamasha.
Maybe it's he didn't help who helped him analyze.
You think that's important or not important?
I think that might be important.
Okay. That he got some help. Doing what though? What did he?
The most common paying letters I don't think the English are the ones that are used the most.
Okay, the letters that are used the most. Okay. So we've got the letters that are used the most, and what did they do with those letters? They split them up. They moved them further apart, right? Yeah, because they would jam, right? Okay. Yeah. And then what was created?
The English, the pairing letters in the English language.
QWERTY, the QWERTY keyboard. That's called the QWERTY keyboard, right? And we know what the QWERTY stands for, right? Okay, work together and come up with one summarizing sentence for that paragraph, okay? And then we'll share some of those. So now that we've had practice working on summarizing a passage together, I modeled for you and I thought aloud what that sounded like when we read QWERTY and then we worked on it together. I want you to now take a look at the ice cream cone cometh. Okay, the article that's at your desk. And what I want you to do is, I want you to summarize, just like you did, this passage. I want you to write a summarizing sentence for each of the paragraphs, and in the end, because there are 4 paragraphs, you'll have a 4-sentence summary. So again, the purpose here is to summarize this passage. Okay? You're going to work in pairs. Okay, work in groups of 2 or maybe groups of 3, and do what you just did. Do what you just did as I was walking around, and come up with a summarizing sentence for each of these paragraphs.
I think the keywords are important because the date. I think the date's important, so I'm gonna underline it. And then he was selling waffle cones, Persian waffles. I'm gonna underline that. And he wasn't selling enough because it was a hot day, and
nobody wanted stuff that was hot on a hot day.
And the lady was selling ice cream, and a lot of ice cream, and then he thought of an idea, and he combined the two, the Persian waffles and the ice cream, and then that's how ice cream was made.
The ice cream cone.
So you guys did a fabulous job summarizing the ice cream cone cometh. You came up with some great summarizing sentences for each of those paragraphs. Now what we're going to do is you're going to go into your independent reading books and you're going to use Post-its and do what we just did, but now you're going to do it by yourself. Okay? You're going to take every couple paragraphs and you're going to write a summarizing statement on your Post-its. So after you've read a whole chapter or so, you'll have a good sense of what this book is about, or that chapter is about, or those few pages.